Are you ready for another tournament? Auke1993 Tournament 2 is now open for signups, and I've already gotten quite a few over the night. So, be quick, I'll leave a link to the topic for the tournament in the video description. Please go there quickly, because when this video's up there might be like half of the signups already. So make sure you don't stay behind and miss out. Now, this tournament's going to be a little different than the last one. The last one was basic, 16 people, single elimination. This one's going to have more people. I wanted that, a lot of others wanted that as well. 40 people will be participating in this tournament. We're going to have two stages of this tournament. Stage 1 is round robin. The 40 participants are going to be randomly divided into 8 groups of 5, Group A up to including Group H. Each group will have 5 people. Within your group, you will fight each other round robin style. So you will duel every other person in your group once. That will give you points. The more you win, the more points you get. Now, at the end of stage 1, so at the end of the round robin, once you've dueled all other 4 people in your group, you will have a certain amount of points and you'll have a ranking. The top 2 people from every group will move on to stage 2 of the tournament, which is single elimination. With 2 people moving on to stage 2 per group, and there being 8 groups, that's 2 times 8, 16 people. And then it will be a similar tournament to what already was, well, my first tournament, single elimination, 16 people. Only this time, there's 2 restrictions that you're going to have to deal with. It's not just a bigger tournament. It has restrictions. Now here they are, and I have a lot more restrictions for you ready for later tournaments. 2 restrictions. First, your main deck cards, your main deck monsters to be exact, must all be of the same attribute. So only light monsters, or only earth monsters, or only fire monsters. Whatever you wish to go for, one attribute. And now, I've written this down pretty well here on my topic page, so I'm going to just read it off from there. Example, your main deck, this is indeed something important. It's all about your main deck with this restriction. There's no restriction to the attributes in the extra deck, just the main deck. So if your main deck attribute is wind, you may still use an earth monster or a fire monster in your extra deck. That is just fine. Also, since side deck monsters, and I'm talking side deck monsters that can move into your main deck, since they can move into your main deck, they will have to be part of the restriction as well. So if you're running all earths, you might want to put earth monsters in your extra deck. Side deck. Now, it is not, how should I put it? You may put a light monster, for example, Effect Veiler, in your side deck, while your main deck is wind. Now, how does that work? The only time you're allowed to put Effect Veiler into your main deck during siding is if you take out all other monsters. Because that way you take the entire, wind attribute out of your main deck, which means there's no attribute, and then if you just place Effect Veiler in, your attribute is then light, because that's the only monster attribute in your main deck. That is allowed. I don't see it happening a lot, but it is allowed, so just so you know. Also, second restriction is in regard to the extra deck. Now, you're allowed to have a lot of different attributes in your extra deck, but the extra deck is allowed to have only a maximum of 2 monsters. You're allowed to have none, you're allowed to have 1, maximum 2, no 3 or more. 2 monsters max in the extra deck. So, main deck restriction, single attribute, extra deck restriction, maximum 2 cards. Will you be able to come out victorious? Our defending champion DannyBoy3 will be joining in on this tournament. Will you be the one to dethrone him and become the new Auke1993 Tournament champion? Let's see. Please, I welcome you to my tournament.